Capricorn, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-December 2022. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you beautiful people. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes into energy and see what's going on for the lovely Cappies. I hope everything is fabulous. Let's go, my gods. Talk to me. What do we got for my friends here? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full tarot reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean in on, which is always interesting. So let's get this card out here. And while I do, we are moving very close into the Capricorn season. So if you're on that Sagittarius cusp, happy birthday to you. But here we go with this first card. And this is a really powerful energy of energetic bonds and connections, specifically cords of different kinds, like things you might be attached to, people, places, things. So we're going to have to really pull that one back. Before we do, though, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the December subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. Also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But into the reading, enough of that. Have a look at this card. Beautiful in its illustration, right? You see that man, you see that woman. It looks like they're at a distance, right? Like they're communicating through some sort of device. So, of course, this could represent situations involving distance. But the big theme, like I was alluding to a little earlier to me, is what we're connected to. Now, I personally believe that when we become very close with any individual, whether it's a really strong friendship, family, romance, we form these energetic bonds with each other. So spirit might be asking you to like really analyze who and what you might be connected to. Is it a one-way street in regards to how much energy you're putting forth, or vice versa? It's an interesting card, so you might just want to reflect on those things. We're going to place it down right here, all right, because we're always giving and receiving energy. But yeah, as I always say, that card doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a footnote. Let's get into tarot now. Using the lovely Tarot in Wonderland. Let's shuffle it up one time, get you 3 in the upright before we get that intuitive, juicy stuff going. What do we got for Capricorn here? So, it seems like the last few weeks, there's been a few dicey readings. Last week's was titled, They Are Depressed. And you know I like to try to keep the titles as simple as possible. But I was getting that heavy, gloomy, depressive type of energy. And I didn't necessarily feel like it was all of you. But it was a vibe for sure. So we're going to hope for some optimism this week. Let's get 3 out here for you. As you know, energy is never set in stone, so only take this how it hits for you, right? It's not one size fits all. Let's get 3. You're seeing your vibe or someone you're connected to. I always like to mention that, but I'm sure you already knew, right? If you watch tarot, you know the whole spiel. Okay, so we do have the 7 of Swords right here in the front end. This is something that we're probably going to have to watch out for. That could be a warning. That is definitely a mystery card. It's not that savory. Okay, and I do feel like I saw that for you a couple of weeks ago. Let's get 2 more out. Really don't want to dive too much into it thus far. Okay, 7 of Wands. So we have double 7s, repeating 7s. That could be important. Let's get 1 more out here. Then we'll really dive deep. So what do we got here? Okay, we have the Hierophant. So this could be something coming into a state of normalcy. I would say, pardon me, with the flow of energy, if times have been a little hectic, if you've been dealing with a lot, the Hierophant on the back end kind of anchors it down and says things might be slowing down, calming down. But let's go through. I'll give you all the classical meanings and archetypes of these cards. Then we'll get those juicy intuitive messages. There's going to be a lot for us to break down here. So as I already said, repeating numbers, when I see them in spreads, you're going to want to watch out for those. Spirit might be trying to give you signs and signals, try to call your attention here, whether it's red flags or whether it's leading you to prosperity and good things. But position number 1, we have the 7 of Swords. In the tarot deck, this is one of the cards that can indicate sneakiness. Now, all cards have positive and negative. I'd say the more positive, optimistic approach of this 7 of Swords could just be something unexpected or surprising, something that's like really not out in the light just yet, something that you might not know about at the moment when we have this card. But on the extreme end, this could be a very dicey individual, like somebody who has like secret motives, hidden motives. This could be liars and thieves and stuff like that. So there could be a big warning with this 7 of Swords. But as I said, it could be something being revealed to you as well, like something coming out of the shadows, let's not get too frantic on that just yet. But as we press forward through the reading, we have the next 7, the 7 of Wands. Now, this card to me, in its rougher sense, it can be a little combative, a little fiery, somebody that's a bit argumentative. So I can think of that fiery, explosive, argumentative energy, literally. But the positive of this card is determination, somebody that will see through all the hurdles and roadblocks and fights that they need to see through to reach the end. Like, it's kind of that vibe of me against the world. This can also be somebody that's feeling cabin fevery or trapped or cornered. So these are energies that you can want to avoid. But I would embrace the positivity of that card as well. The determination, like somebody who can't be broken no matter what. So we're really going to want to get in on both of those. Now, moving to the very back end, we do have the Hierophant, okay? This could just represent a Taurus in your life. Now, this card is one of the most intensely symbolic cards overall. This could represent spirituality. This could represent government, structures, corporations. Like, you think big power structures, you think of the Hierophant. Long-standing institutions. This can also represent any relationship or connection that you've had for a very long time. We think of marriages and long-term engagements, stuff like that with the Hierophant, if it's not a Taurus in your life. But generally, this is a planted energy. It's not moving, it's not movable. It can be a little bit stubborn sometimes as well. I also think of the day-to-day life. So when I see cards like the 7 of Wands and the Hierophant, like there could be something about a regular routine that's important, whether you needing to get into one or maybe it's just too much of a drag. But let's dive deeper on all of it, Capricorn. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, so we're going to get one good shuffle here for my Cappies, please. My gods, talk to me. And yes, my friends, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's see what's up with that 7 of Swords. And if you're a tarot reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why this box is here. If you're feeling any messages that you want to give to Capricorn, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind. You won't be stepping on my toes. All right, 7 of Swords time. Why is the 7 of Swords here? Thank you. Judgment in reverse. Yeah, they're, whatever this is in the shadows won't be there for long, especially like with Judgment in reverse underneath it. This could be somebody that's possibly trying to avoid paying consequences, or somebody that doesn't want to pay consequences for their actions. That could be a big energy I'm feeling right up front. But another vibe I'm catching is like something will come to light eventually. Now, 3 weeks ago, we did have a reading that said, beware of this person. This could be an unsavory individual here that thinks they could, you know, scoot around and do what they want and pay no repercussions. But this is, once again, a very important warning about the company you keep, right? A serious, important warning. Just keep your eyes open, right? It doesn't mean you have to like go crazy and, you know, interrogate every single person in your life. Just keep your head on a swivel. Make sure nobody's moving funny. Because for a lot of you in this time, there could be certain individuals around you that are moving a little bit funky, especially when we have cards that speak about like the day-to-day life showing up. Like somebody might be doing things a little differently. So watch out for that. But those are the main things. We'll talk about it more when we get to the recap, but this can be an important warning for sure. But let's see how the rest of it plays out. Right, that's only the beginning of the spread. We still have a lot more to go. So why is this 7 of Wands here? Very interesting indeed, my friends. That is a karmic card as well. So if we get more karmic cards, we could be looking at someone paying those consequences eventually. Okay. Yeah, we have the Magician underneath the 7 of Wands. There could be something you're trying to create or a result that you want. It might be taking a little bit more time than you'd like it to take, or you might be trying to purposefully manifest, but there's roadblocks popping up. It's like this could be a time where nothing seems to be coming easy. Like it's, once again, you against the world, or anytime I clear one thing away, another thing pops up. It's like one thing after another after another. It's like, oh, is this, that, or the other thing. So just know that you can be an extra powerful manifester in this time. Doesn't mean there won't be any roadblocks, but there might be a little bit of frustration, okay? Like you might be yearning for things to come to you a bit easier than they are when we have a card like this. That's a vibe I'm picking up. Now, I always want to give the little caveat. there are things in life that we can control, and there's always some things in life that are out of our hands. And since the Magician is a big card of control under the Seven of Wands, it might just be good to remind yourself of that. You can't control everything, but you can control how you react to it. Let's go in on the Hierophant now. I always feel like that's a good way to process things. So why is the Hierophant here? Then we'll do our recap before we get into the Shadow card. Interesting reading. Okay. All right, yeah, Stone Cold, right? We have the Moon in reverse underneath the Hierophant. So if something does come to light, you or someone at the very least could be playing it very stone cold with the Moon in reverse. Because once again, this is another big card of the hidden. With that in reverse, it is something coming to light. And when we link it with what we have in the front here, yeah, there could be things that you didn't know that are just popping up, that you have realizations, revelations about. That could absolutely happen here. But it might not get the desired effect, right? Like, that's the vibe I'm catching. Like, it's not going to catch you off guard, or it wouldn't catch you off guard. Like, oh yeah, that doesn't really surprise me. Like, I'm catching somebody keeping a brave face, like, regardless of what pops up, good, bad, or indifferent. Okay, so whatever surprises or unexpected things pop up, I don't really see it swaying you from your course. That's like the vibe I'm picking up here. Like, steady as she goes. That's the vibe I'm picking up. Now, for some of you, yeah, it could just be a Pisces or a Cancerian. Very powerful major arcana here on the back end. But I'm not feeling like this is throwing anybody off track or off their course. Okay, like, just keep that train moving. That's the vibe I'm picking up. Okay, so for some of you, yeah, it might be little issues with a Pisces or a Cancer, but we're not going to go down that road too much. I do feel like there should still be a warning here, regardless of how somebody plays it, that there can be a lot of unknown, unexpected popping up in this time. But if you kindly look in the box before we get into the Shadow card, in position number 1, we did have the Seven of Swords with Judgment in reverse. So this did feel like somebody trying to scoot around consequences, or somebody like really not trying to pay for their actions. I also gave that important warning about those that you're surrounded with. You know, watch the company you keep. Just keep an eye. You don't have to go interrogating people, but just make sure nobody's moving funky, especially with that Hierophant on the back end. But the energy of revelation, pardon me, is showing up twice here in this spread. But moving to the center, we have the Seven of Wands with the Magician in the upright. It might feel like a little bit of a trudge right now, or you might feel like things aren't coming to you as easy as they should. Yes, you should still invoke spirituality and manifestation and all those beautiful things, but there can and will be roadblocks in this time. That's a vibe I'm picking up, or somebody might be on the struggle bus a little bit. But it's important to know that things are always going to pop up, and there's going to always be things that are out of our hands. The only thing we control is how we react. Okay. Moving to the back end, we have the Hierophant with the Moon in reverse. And like I said, this felt like stone cold, like, yeah, revelations, the unexpected, all that stuff that I was speaking about in the beginning. But this isn't budging this person. This is somebody that might seem unaffected. Okay. So whether that's you or somebody else. Now, does that mean that's really the case? Doesn't have to be, but it's somebody that at least seems like, all right, yeah, this isn't going to throw me off course. Very unaffected. So please take a screenshot. I'm going to get you one shadow card super quick. Let's get a nice shuffle. Interesting reading. I mean, we had a little bit of everything in there, right? So let's see what's going on with Capricorn, please. Yeah, I'm still using the Shadowland Tarot for this portion. I love using this to look at any shadow work, shadow side stuff. So what's in the shadows for Capricorn, please? It's always a nice little bow on top of a reading. Okay, we do have the King of Wands showing up in the shadows. So some of you, this could be issues or shadows in regards to a fire sign or an older male figure that might be clinging around. But a big vibe we always pick up with this King of Wands is what we put our energy towards and what we're focused towards. Remember, in the very beginning of this, we saw the energetic attachments showing up, and the King of Wands could represent that as well. So in this time, you're really going to want to watch out, like, who and what you're pouring your energy into, who and what you're focused on. Maybe having a strong analysis of if something's a waste of your time or if it's time well spent. That's a big vibe I pick up with this, if it's not a person. So Capricorn, that's what I have for you this week, my beautiful friends. But don't click away just yet. I'm going to give you the details of the December subscriber surprise. If you got your name in for the November subscriber surprise, the winners will be announced after the Fire Air readings this week. But for December, I'm giving away 2 copies of the beautiful Tarot in Wonderland. This is the deck I used in this week's reading. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. Second, let me know down in the comments which tarot card makes you happiest when you see it. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of December, I will put the winners in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love to you, and I'll see you next time.